This week on Charger Bulletin News, the vaccine rollout for COVID-19, the inauguration of the 46th president, and students move in for the spring semester. All of this and more on Charger Bulletin News. Hello and welcome back to Charger Bulletin News. I'm Neva Bostic.
And I'm Alex Severa, and we're so excited to be back for another semester of Charger Bulletin News.
We're coming to you virtually this week, but hopefully next week we'll be back in the studio.
But either way, we're ready to bring you all the latest Charger news.
The Charger community has officially moved back in for spring semester. Students were required to get tested both before and on move-in day in order to participate in the mandatory study-in-place period. During this period, students have started their classes virtually and are required to stay on campus. The study-in-place period ends January 25th and with the university's approval of a second negative COVID test. Commuter students will be allowed to return to campus on February 1st and all in-person classes start February 3rd.
On December 14th, Sandra Lindsay, a New York City nurse, was the first among many to receive the COVID-19 vaccine. Lindsay received the vaccine at Long Island Jewish Medical Center in Queens. After taking the vaccine, she told CNN, quote, "I want to be a part of the solution to put an end to this pandemic once and for all," end quote. As of Saturday, the CDC reports that over 20 million doses have been administered to people across the country.
A new strain of COVID-19 appeared in the UK back in December. British Prime Minister Boris Johnson declared a nationwide lockdown to reduce the number of cases and hospitalizations. Other countries such as Scotland, Ireland, and Wales have taken similar precautions. The new variant is considered more contagious, but is not considered more deadly. Another strain was discovered in South Africa, but it has not been identified in the US.
Just over 2 weeks ago, the U.S. Capitol was placed on lockdown when a group of rioters stormed the building. It is speculated that one student from the University of New Haven attended the event. On January 6th, one New Haven student posted their concerns to Twitter with screenshots of another student's Snapchat location, a photo taken from inside a gun store, and 2 pictures from outside of the Capitol. The university's president, Stephen Kaplan, sent out an email in response. In it, he stated, quote, "The unlawful action of those in Washington, D.C. who committed these acts are, in a word, shameful," end quote. He also informed students that the social media posts reported to him are being investigated by the Student Office and law enforcement. Undergraduate and Student Government Association President Sophia Martinez led a forum in collaboration with the Dean of Students Office to give students an opportunity to voice their concerns during this time.
A week after the riot, Donald Trump was impeached by the House for a second time. Trump was charged with inciting an insurrection after his supporters destroyed property and threatened members of Congress. He is the only president to be impeached twice. Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer announced that the impeachment trial is scheduled to begin February 9th.
Last Wednesday, Joe Biden was inaugurated as the 46th President of the United States. Since his first day in office, Biden has signed 30 executive orders ranging from the pandemic, climate change, and immigration. Some of the main issues include rejoining the Paris Climate Accord, ending the country's withdrawal from the World Health Organization, and reversing the travel ban on Muslim countries. President Biden also signed an executive order pushing the delivery of stimulus checks to those who have not yet received their payments.
And now it's time to check in on entertainment. Emily's here to bring you the latest news. What we missed over the break, Emily?
Thanks, Neva, and welcome back, everyone. There's a lot happening in entertainment, so let's get into it. On December 10th, Disney hosted their Investors' Day livestream, announcing projects for streaming and theatrical release. From Disney TV to Marvel Studios, some of the biggest projects were announced for Disney+. Those titles include Percy Jackson and the Olympians, a Beauty and the Beast prequel show, and The Mighty Ducks Game Changers. Movies include Hocus Pocus 2, Peter Pan and Wendy, and a live-action Pinocchio. Lucasfilm announced many new Star Wars shows, titles including Obi-Wan Kenobi, Andor, The Acolyte, Ahsoka, and The Book of Boba Fett. Marvel showed some first looks at shows they announced in 2019 and announced new titles such as Secret Invasion, Ironheart, and Armor Wars. And following the success of Folklore, Taylor Swift released another album in December, Evermore. This is a huge surprise to fans because Taylor is currently re-recording her first 5 albums so she can have ownership over her music after it had been sold by Scooter Braun to Shamrock Holdings. Taylor said in a GMA interview, "I'm very excited about doing this because my contract says that starting in November 2020, she can start re-recording." And studios announced more movie delays. No Time to Die has been moved to October 8th, 2021, Uncharted to February 11th, 2022, Morbius to January 21st, 2022, and A Quiet Place Part 2 to September 17th, 2021. And on Saturday, broadcaster Larry King passed away at Cedars-Sinai Medical Center in Los Angeles. A statement from his production studio was posted to his Twitter saying, "For 63 years and across the platforms of radio, television, and digital media, Larry's many thousands of interviews, awards, and global acclaim stand as a testament to his unique and lasting talent as a broadcaster." Additionally, while it was his name appearing in the show's title, Larry always viewed his interview subjects as the true star of his programs and himself merely an unbiased conduit between guest and audience. Larry King was 87. That's all for entertainment this week. Joe, what's been going on in sports?
Thanks, Emily. It's good to be back, and I know most of our athletes are happy to be back as well. Now, I have good and bad news coming out of the athletics department. Starting with the bad, the Northeast 10 Council of Presidents decided to cancel the fall season that was going to be played this spring. University President Stephen Kaplan said, quote, "Above all, though our priority is protecting their health and well-being, we remain committed to ensuring that all of our student athletes have opportunities to safely interact with their coaches and teammates, as they had throughout the fall semester, and I am confident they will continue to excel in the classroom, in their training, and as ambassadors for the university," end quote. Now, athletes are going to hopefully be able to continue practicing and training in small groups like they did last fall. Unfortunately, they won't be able to play in games. Now, all is not lost as the spring sports, including tennis, are set to play their seasons with certain modifications such as a limited travel circle. So basically they're not going to be traveling as far as they used to, but still being able to play in games. This means Chargers are going to be able to turn out to Kathy Zolad Stadium and see the women's lacrosse team play, or head up to North and see the baseball and softball teams playing, along with all the other spring sports. Now for winter sports, they're still trying to figure out what exactly they're going to do. Some teams may be doing scrimmages, but that's still up in the air. Hopefully I'll have more updates for you. Now I have to go watch some NFL games to see who's going to be playing in the Super Bowl. That's all for sports this week. Back to you, Alex.
Thanks, Joe. We can't wait for another spring season of Charger sports. And let's get right back into our stories.
Last week, the Charger community welcomed its newest staff member. Carrie Robinson was selected as the new director of the Myatt Center for Diversity and Inclusion. Throughout her career, Ms. Robinson has helped students find a sense of belonging and led workshops focused on equity and inclusion. She has won multiple awards for her efforts and continues to address racial and social justice issues in our community. Ms. Robinson starts her new position on February 1st.
On Saturday, the university hosted a virtual commencement for its nearly 600 winter graduates. The celebration included a keynote address by Susan Frampton and awarded an honorary degree to Meryl Tangasdal, the first African-American woman to fly the U.S. Air Force's U-2 spy plane. Congratulations to all of the graduates. We wish you luck in all of your future endeavors.
Well, that's all the time we have left for this week.
You can check out every edition of the Charger Bulletin newspaper on chargerbulletin.com.
Stay up to date by following us on social media at Charger Bulletin. Thanks for tuning in. I'm Neva Bostic.
And I'm Alex Severo. We'll see you next week on the Charger Bulletin News.